And we're going to try to go live. So that's a lot of buttons to click right there. But good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Big waves out there. Big waves, big waves, big waves. I am so excited for this call. Like, I know I slacked a little bit, and this is my first team Zoom since I got back from Tahiti. And so you guys have had to wait a long time for this, but I've had this in my mind since we left. So I just wanted to bring back a little piece of Tahiti to all of you so that you could see just a piece of what we had. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And let's see if we can get it. So we are doing our Wednesday Wisdom Tahiti style tonight. So that's what you're getting. We're going to bring a little bit of Tahiti back to the group. But before we get started, I wanted to talk to you about PXP. So as you guys know, that is coming up so soon. Before we know it, it's going to be September. I know that your life is going by just as quickly as mine. Days are quick, quick, quick. So don't miss out on this. Tickets are selling out. They're down. They expanded once. This is as big as it can get. So don't miss out. Please make sure that you get your tickets. There is still a discount involved. So go to your back office, grab your tickets, and don't miss out on this because it's going to be amazing and it's going to help you achieve some amazing things. So don't miss that. And then I wanted to take a quick minute to just give a little shout out. And I know they did this on the corporate call yesterday, but I am just so impressed by each and every person on here. And so I want to just give like big hugs, big congratulations, and a big thank you, because all I can think about when I see these names is that once upon a time, and I don't know the names, so don't judge me here because I'm not going to have all the facts for you. But once upon a time, we thought that it was impossible to run the 4-minute mile. And then along came somebody, and I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. You can put it in the chat and I'll learn. But along came a gentleman that went and ran a 4-minute mile. And now we literally have kids in high school that are able to do it because somebody showed them that it was possible. And when I look at all these names, like I can literally get a little teary-eyed because there's so many people on here that are leading the way for us. So many people on here that are showing us what is possible. We've got people that have been in the industry for 20 plus years. We've got people that have been in the industry for less than 20 months. We've got people all across the board, men, women, all across the nation that are all winning and leading the way for you and I. So take a screenshot on this, put it on your fridge, go make these your refrigerator people and say, if they can do it, I can do it, because we all can. So I just want to give a congratulations and a giant thank you to all of you. I'm just so honored to know all of the ones that I know on here. Can't wait to meet the ones that I haven't met yet. Love all of you regardless. And I just thank you for leading the way for each of us today. And so tonight, we have a very, very special call. Now, I wasn't able to get all the Tahiti ladies, so hopefully I'll be able to scoop up some more that are available some other nights during the week. But I wanted to bring them on here to really answer just 2 questions for us, okay? So we've got Ashley Rowland, and all of these faces probably look really familiar to you, right? These are all people that you know and love, but Ashley Rowland is going to share with us tonight. We have the Lanika Scott. We have the Dr. Crystal. We have the Kim Gray that is world famous. And Kim, you're going to be seeing your new picture going around because we updated boards to have your new before and after with this gorgeous pink dress. And then we have our very own Ashley Antley joining us tonight. And I am just honored to have these incredible ladies. And just so you guys know, I'm going to give you a little backstory. These are the 2 questions that I asked them to answer for all of us, because I wanted to make sure. Thank you. I wanted to make sure that we had the best for all of you. So first of all, I asked everybody to tell us what's the biggest highlight. So when we can go dream about that next trip, we know what some of the highlights are. And then the next question is, what should I be doing? What should we all be doing in order to be on the next super trip next year? And I do want to make a correction here. I said Lanika and it's Dr. Lanika. So I apologize for that, but I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to go ahead and bring each of you up and I'm going to highlight you. So I'm going to spotlight, and in no particular order. I just have to find you on my screen. So smile at us and maybe wave while I find you. There's Crystal, Dr. Crystal. And oh, let's see if we can find her. Okay, and we've got Dr. Lanika as well. So that should be everybody. Give us a big wave. And ladies, thank you. Thank you so much for being on here tonight. And Lanika, I know that you said that you needed to go last. So that's great. And if we could do it alphabetical order, I don't care. Whoever wants to go first, please go first. But I am just honored to be on here with each of you warrior ladies, to steal Ashley's term. And thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing with all of us. So Ashley Rowland, I'm going to kick it off with you, okay? Nobody was going to volunteer, so Mom stepped in.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm honored to be alongside these amazing ladies, along with you, Andrea, and so many, other warrior ladies that are out there, and men, out here changing their lives, changing their families' lives. And, the trips are a perk. They're a must. They're all everything, and the highlight, I think every day I had a highlight. Every single day there was something new that was the highlight, that I thought there's no way that the next day could top what this day was, and I don't know if it's from watching Kim Gray, that's never traveled out of the state of Alabama, and get on a plane and go cross country out of the country with her passport, and watch her through her eyes see things like from food to the accents that people would say, to riding on the back of a four-wheeler, there was just, to Ashley Antley and Reese getting to see their bucket list for the very first time, right? With Dr. Crystal, and then getting time with Lanika and Denise. And there's just, like I said, I guess I could go on and on and on and on and on with the highlight, because I honestly can't say that I have one. But then how do you get on the trip for next year? It starts now. It starts now. You treat it like it's a brand new business, right? This is a new business, your business. And so therefore, don't bring old practices into your new business. Create that new mindset, grow it bigger than it's ever been. Create new habits, daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. God did not create you to stay the same. He didn't. So why would you you got to develop new habits. You got to grow your mind big. And then that gets you new results, right? And when that happens, just like Kim took 5 years, and look what she's accomplished in 5 years. This is a lady that's never left the state of Alabama. In 5 years, she's a world traveler. Her passport probably's got more stamps on it than most people do their whole life. Think about that for a minute. And what she's been able to create in 5 years. So just look out in 5 years. Give yourself 5 years. It's going to go by anyway. Why not, right? Give yourself 5 years. Look out, and then go just do it daily. Like, this is brand new. My business starts today, brand new. Forget the past. This is brand new. Forget your old habits, because if you want something different, you got to create new habits, right? So why would you bring those old habits into a new business? That doesn't even make sense. They don't even go together. You're not going to get different results. So, create that new mindset, create those new habits, and just go do it for your family, because why not? I hope that's what you were looking for. But
that is exactly what I was looking for. And if you saw me frantically typing, it's because I'm taking notes, because we all want to learn. So thank you for that. And that was a great example, or a great analogy of why would I want to bring yesterday's wins or losses into today. Let's create new habits so I can create a brand new business. So I absolutely love that, Ashley. Thank you so much. And we're going to we're just going to go down the line, alphabetical order. I think we kind of did it almost. If we ignore last names, we're just going to ignore that. But Ashley Antley, if you wouldn't mind sharing next. Thank you so much, lady, for being on here.
Yes, so I love Tahiti. Like that was a bucket list trip that I've had for years. When I started with this company and I learned that this was the super trip, I mean, literally the week I signed up, I said, what do I have to do to get to Tahiti? And I knew what I had to do. And every week I was checking to be sure I was on track. So I'm going to kind of start backwards as far as what you've got to do to be on the next trip. You've got to know what you've got to do to get there. And then you have to be following through and checking up week after week on that. And you've got to start by plugging in your local events and with your local leaders. You can't just say, I would love to go to Tahiti and then just expect it to happen. You've got to be on these IPA calls daily. You've got to be plugging into your local events that are around you. Get with your team, get with your leaders. That's where you start to grow, is with your local group. And then as you grow, then you will get to these big trips. But it's not just about the big trips. You know, you have to start small, and then that will just start to really add up. So I would definitely say that. And I would say the highlight that I had was really just linking arms with others. I am brand new to this industry. I've been here 1 year. And just to be with these leaders that have been in this industry, I mean, it was mind blowing. Like I literally had to pinch myself. Like, am I really here with these people? And then to connect with the big leader in China that literally earns $80,000 a week, like $80,000 a week. People can tell you that all day long, but until it's a tangible person in your face and you're hugging her and you're talking to her and you're learning from her and what she does, I mean, it was just incredible. And it really just puts a different spin on it when you're able to sit down with a person, even if you're having to use Google Translate or whatever, but you're able to talk to them and find out, what do they do? How are they growing? That was huge. Just to talk to the people from Italy, to talk to the girl from China. I mean, just to have that experience in itself was something that we cannot put a value dollar on. And it was huge for all of us. So just so thankful for the trip, thankful for this call, and all of you beautiful ladies.
Well, thank you so much for that, Ashley. And it was an honor being on there with you. It was great getting to spend time with you and Reese. And guys, you don't know this, but we actually have not one, but 2 karaoke stars in the house right here. So I got to see, oh yeah, you woman, you. So a couple of ladies on here were rocking it. So that was really fun too. So enjoyed that, Ashley. Thank you for that. And Kim Gray, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us tonight, and thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you for asking me to be on here with all of these wonderful ladies that I got to share this moment time with. And the most that I got out of this is being around all of you guys. And like Ashley said, is to talking to Nikki and talking to the lady from China and getting to know how they do things and talking to Susan Frank. I mean, wow, you know, that was a very big highlight for me, is to get other ideas that I can come back and say to my team, well, you know, guys, you can do things this way, or we can restructure things, and this is the way they're doing it. And then talking to Dr. Crystal and getting things, little niblets from her, to where I can come back and help grow my team, to have people on my team to be able to be with me. This was a very, very good time for a lifetime, because I would never have went to Tahiti, you know. And so, and how you would get here next year is, I have already talked to my gang, and I told them, we had a Zoom the moment I got home with both sides of my team, and I told them, you've got to make goals now. Don't wait till PXP. You got to start now. And they asked me, well, tell me a goal to do. I'm telling my team, get me on 3-way calls, 3 to 5 a day. 3 to 5 a day. When me and Ashley Rowland was doing that Panama City group, let me tell you something. We were doing 10 to 15 Zooms a day. That's what it took. I know what it takes to get there, and I want my team to get there. So I told them 3 to 5 Zooms, 3-way calls a day, do me 2 launch parties a month. The other 2 weeks out of that month, don't do a launch party. Start talking to your downline, your leaders in your downline. Get them prepared, get them ready for that Zoom, for that launch party that next week. We're on a Ferris wheel and it's going this fast. I'm not slowing this down for nobody. Do you hear me? It's going this fast. If you want to be on this Ferris wheel, you better jump on, because it's not a merry-go-round. I'm not slowing down. And that's what I have told my team. And they are all excited. They're wanting to jump on. They're wanting to go to trips with me. And when you get your team and have goals for them to have, or new habits, like y'all said, but I call them goals. If you get them to put goals in their head to accomplish, that's going to get you to Tahiti or wherever we go. So that's how I'm telling my team to get there.
I love it, Kim. Thank you so much. And it was phenomenal to be on there with you. And you looked like you were having a great time. And I know you were so excited to get home to that good old Southern cooking. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it was different. It was definitely a phenomenal cruise with some really, really gourmet food that some of us.
And I love all of the ladies that I went with. I enjoyed myself tremendously.
Well, we enjoyed being there with you. And so next up, we have Dr. Crystal Vance. And hopefully, Crystal, you saw my text message. But I am so grateful that you are jumping on here and joining us today. Oh, I didn't bring you your readers. You just did did anybody else do the look and then the look? So anyway, thank you so much for jumping on here tonight, and appreciate hearing from you this evening.
Oh my goodness. Kim, you got all of a sudden I saw a gerbil wheel. I didn't see a roller coaster like it. That thing was flying. I miss you guys. You can't live with people for like 2 weeks and then they just get taken away. I'm like, I miss my people. I miss my girls. I have to deal with these guys all the time. I want my girls back. So I miss you guys. I am going to slow it down a little bit because there's so much excitement. We're all literally, I looked at Mark today, my fiance. I looked at Mark. He enrolled 3 personal people today. He's going so fast that I was like, dude, I need you to slow down just a little bit, just a little bit. So my whole life is right now moving as fast as Kim Gray can talk. Sometimes we get moving so fast. I love you, Kimmy. Sometimes we get moving so fast that we don't let it soak in. So I want to take you to one. I'm like you said, Ash, like, how do you pick one? Every single day was a dream, but I'm going to go with, it was day 2 before it really even was supposed to start. We all were so ready. We all got there early. So we got there and we started out at this beautiful hotel overlooking the ocean in Tahiti. And I open up the windows and it's sunshine and the ocean, right? The sun on the water. And that fills me. There's a reason this Wyoming girl moved to Florida. I need to see palm trees sway. I need to smell salt air. I got to know it's close. And I saw it and I'm like, it's a good day. It's a good day. I went down to breakfast and all my friends were at breakfast. I was like, who do I sit with? So I got to sit with Ashley, Roland, and Todd. We started to have breakfast and then came, maybe the Antleys were you guys already there? You might have already been there.
Yeah.
I don't, so they're already there. We pull up, we sit down, and it's like, well, what are you guys going to do today? We're going to go on an adventure. What are you guys going to do today? Well, we're going to go on an adventure. So we get in our little, in our little clown cars, okay, because they fit like 3 human beings in them and they call them cars. And so 4 went in one and we went in ours. And then we tried to follow Todd Rowland as he drives through Tahiti. And we did follow him. And we end up at this little store because all of us Floridians are there and we're going to go snorkeling. So Todd had already scoped it out, right? He's the guy that goes, you send out ahead to scope it all out. And he's going to come back and tell you all the things to do. Okay, golden nugget there. A leader goes out and scopes it out and finds out what to do and then turns around and comes back. Okay, that's what Todd did. He went out. He went out the day before. He drug poor Ashley through who knows what to scope it out because it's not always smooth riding when you're scoping something out. Sometimes there's some hiccups. But by the time you come back to the people you love, you got the bumps out of the way. So we end up getting to have this beautiful stop at this store and we all get our fins and we all brought our snorkels and gear and we head out to this locals beach. Now Todd has found a local to take us out to the reef, the best reefs. Now we get on this beach. This isn't the Hilton Beach. No, we step out. Nobody's got clothes on. We're looking at each other like, are we supposed to join these people? And I'm not sure if like the boys were wondering if we were gonna, but we weren't gonna. It wasn't even in our minds, but nobody had clothes on. We're like, well, okay then. So we all got into the water with our flippers and our masks and we went out and we saw some of the most beautiful reefs. The fish. And Ashley, do you remember that big oyster? I should say Ashley's. Do you remember the big oyster that like opened up on the bottom of the floor, the clamshell and the little fishes? And we saw so much. We saw so much, but we were just out on a Wednesday. And we're floating and we swim and then Todd tries to kill us all and takes us on a really long swim into the current going the wrong direction, but we all made it off safe. Just so you know, we all made it. He's going to test you. He's going to put you in the current and see how good you are. That's another leader tip. Test the current.
We took on a little bit of water.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We all got a little sunburn. Okay. But we came out of there and you would think the day would be done. It was just beginning. So I'm hungry. It's like 1, we haven't eaten. So we stopped and we got juice. We got a smoothie. And then he's like, let's go climb a mountain and see
Not
a water.
just any smoothie. We stopped on the side of the road.
Yeah, a side of the road. Everybody's slamming into each other. We walked up the street to this lady who literally just had like 6 pieces of fruit laying out on a countertop and a Hamilton blender. And she made us fruit juice. And it might be the best smoothie I've ever had in my life.
I've been craving those. I literally have been craving those.
It was so good. So, by the way, I got her number in WhatsApp. She's going to be joining us. So, you guys, we keep walking and we end up driving through these people's backyard. Literally. Through people's backyards. And at the same time, I'm looking at these people. Oh, I'm starting to get the shivers. Looking at these people's yards, they have nothing. This is third world living. They have nothing, and they are smiling from ear to ear. They come out and they wave as we go by, and their little dogs are running up and down the road. And we park the car, and we can then walk through the jungle up a mountain. Todd runs up the mountain, and I'm not going to let him get too far out ahead of me. So I'm a running right behind him. We made it up to the top of the mountain. And at the top of the mountain was about a, I don't know, 5-story waterfall coming down the side of a black volcanic wall into a black lagoon. But when you walked up, the water was so clear, you could see to the bottom. So we all climbed in, and we got underneath the waterfall, and we got a free massage. We took pictures, and we just stood there looking at each other like, this is our life. This was worth that no. This was worth that lady asking me if there's dairy and milk. This was worth the person asking, is there sugar in picante sauce? This was worth the person saying, everybody quit. I don't want to do this anymore. There's a reason I've taken all the no's. There's a reason I've taken all the yeses. And that one moment I remembered it was all worth it. And so we got all of a sudden we started itching and sort of burning. So we thought maybe we should get off the mountain and get in the water for whatever we had all over our skin that was possibly burning it off. And so we all hurried down the mountain, but we had a lot of fun. We jumped into a black sand lagoon and washed off because it was across the street. And then we got out and we jumped on a call with you all. 400 of you joined that call on a Thursday night. And we shared what we loved about this company and what we love about what we do in the middle of a park in Tahiti on a Thursday night. Maybe it was Wednesday, doesn't matter. Okay, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. Okay, so we're not done. We get in the car. We start driving. We're driving. It starts to rain. We're like, it's just a sprinkle. And the most beautiful rainbow comes out across the Tahiti sky. And I get a picture. Their car is literally driving into the rainbow. And then all of a sudden, the brake lights, we're like, what the heck? What's he doing? And here comes Todd running down the street. He's like, hey, there's this surfing competition that's the Olympics. Like, it's happening here in a few weeks. And this is Reese, like Reese the surfer, and the Tiahapu or Hupu or whatever. He didn't say it right, so I don't need to. So he's like, we got to go. Do you guys want to go? And we're like, well, we don't know what that means because we're not surfing, but yeah, okay, let's go. Another tip. When people go, you don't need to know everything. You just go. When the people are screaming and when the people are that excited, you just catch a fever. I never surfed. I don't surf. I surfed in a boat. Okay. So what ends up happening, actually laughing, what ends up happening is we reverse, go into what looks like the shadiest, like, it's shady. Like, what are we doing? We could get murdered. No one would know. They wouldn't know. Oh no, not Todd Rowland. He's wheeling, he's dealing, he's got money. We got a driver, we got a taxi, a water taxi. We're going out. Are you coming? Well, yeah, we're not going to get left behind. So we jump in the boat. And I am smart enough to look at Ashley, not Todd. I'm like, Ashley, are we safe? And she's looking at me. asking the same question. It didn't matter. We were already committed. We were in the boat. There was no going back at this point. We're in the boat. Are you in the boat? If you're in the boat, stop questioning whether you're taking the adventure. You're in the boat. So you might as well paddle. Well, we didn't have to paddle, thank goodness. But we start taking out, and this gentleman starts sharing his story with us. And we fall in love with our captain. And we start to trust him because he's telling us his story. And his son pulls up and he's like, oh, so humble. My son, he's a surfer. We later find out he's sponsored by Red Bull and gonna be in the Olympics. Like, we just happened to see him come by. He just looked like some fisherman floating
And
by.
world ranked. World ranked.
World ranked. We meet this guy on a boat in the ocean. Okay, now there was no disciple walking on water, but Todd and Reese jump in the ocean. They go swimming. We get pictures. Here comes the rainbow. You guys, we can't write this. Its sun is setting. The black, there's this beautiful black ocean color with this turquoise, like you've never seen it, waves crashing. And when I say crashing, I mean like 2 feet from my head, they are crashing. We are surfing in a boat. And he's like, oh no. And then he tells us that they flipped a boat the day before doing this. You guys, there are surfers that are swimming to this up to the next set. I could have told you what color his shirt is. That's how close we are to these surfers who are jumping on a swell and riding it. I looked at Ashley and I decided that was a bad idea. Sometimes don't look at the wrong person if you get afraid. Know who to look at in the boat when you're afraid, but do it anyway. We did it anyway, but we knew who to look at. It wasn't Todd either. It was the captain. Because all Todd had and Reese and Mark were these permagrins. They were just enjoying the ride. I think Ashley Antley also was enjoying the ride. Ashley Rowland was mama bear to all of us. She was like, oh, this is great. We're having fun as she watches the next set come in. But you guys, we created memories on that that'll last a lifetime. Now, you would think it would be over. We came in safely. We got in the car. And we were starving. And I'm like, please feed me, Todd Rowland, please. The guy, I'm like, really? Like, eat. When do we? I know why Ashley Rowland is as beautiful as she is. He doesn't stop to eat. Okay, so we get to eat finally. Feed this woman. We get to this restaurant in Tahiti, Polynesian Islands. Amazing cuisine. The menus come out. They're in French. I open my Google Translate and we're at a Chinese food restaurant in the middle of Tahiti. Ashley Rowland ordered rice, white rice, please. She literally ordered white rice for dinner. The rest of us got chicken. I don't know. Todd's the only one that had anything that wasn't not scary. And it was a fish with eyeballs and scales and tail. And you guys, you need to have these memories. You need to go have fun with us. But a lot of what I just said, many of you wouldn't have got in the boat. Some of you would have been afraid to climb that mountain. Some of you would never have gone to a private, secluded beach with someone you don't know. And so what I'm trying to get across to you is you do have to change who you are. You have to become the person who pushes yourself to do things you wouldn't normally do if you want to do this big. Because not one of us ever looked at each other and said, I think we should stop. In fact, we looked at each other and it made us push each other harder, which is what could be scary hanging out with all of us. because there is no speed limit. There is no end zone. We will do this for the rest of our lives because we love what we do. We help people. We work hard. We play hard. We are not for wussies. And this is a bunch of women that can hang with all those men. And there's a bunch of men that can hang with all us women. We have a lot of fun. And next year, you need to be with us.
That was amazing, Crystal. I gotta say,
I love it.
I probably live on the wussy side, so there's a good thing I missed that boat that day. Because Ashley might be mom, but I might be grandma, and I wouldn't have been going for it. No, let's sit down. But I love your analogy, and I love that, Dr. Crystal. Thank you so much. And we're going to close out tonight with Dr. Lanika. So thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to hear from you this evening.
Absolutely. Thank you so much just for having me. I am just so elated to be here. I am so glad that I saw your text message when it came through. The ladies
Me
on
too.
the Kim messaged me this morning. She was like, I miss my my next door neighbor. We were getting up, hearing the Rollins on one side, Kim and her husband on the other. We're like, hey, good. I remember one of them was like, shh, just calm down. I'm like, no, y'all, we got y'all, we earned this trip. Greg and I, we earned the trip in 4 weeks, right? Last year when we came into Partner Co, just out of the gate, we launched, we had, look, y'all, we got 6 kids to feed, right? We had to replace our income. Had not even known about a trip. We just was like, we got to launch, we got to get to work. But I'm going to tell you this, it really was a gift from God. Every picture that you will ever see on the internet of Bora Bora, the over the water bungalows, the huts, the different shades of blue, it is that, and then some times 1,000 or million. I don't know, ladies, would you guys agree? Like every picture that you see, like it, when you looking at the pictures, you're like, oh, that looks so good. It looked that good, right? 50 Shades of Blue is what they call it in the French Polynesian, because you will see every shade of blue, right? And one of the things that I loved about going to the Noni plant was amazing. I remember as we were on the bus, all of us there, about 3 to 5 minutes before we had went there, prior to us arriving at our luxury cruise that Partner Co paid for, I began to feel the presence of God. I was like looking around. I told Greg, I said, Greg, I feel the presence of God, like not knowing, we just all on the bus in Tahiti, right? And then we would turn into the Noni plant, right? And so we all were able to taste the noni, smell it. It's nasty. Some people don't think it is, but it was just a very magical experience, right? And it was just so memorable, and so many of the leaders just willing to share. They were just willing to share. And one thing that I really, when we came back, we talked about the founders seeing us off. Like that was different. Like a founder of a company, like they're seeing all of us off. We're getting on the bus to head back to the airport in Tahiti, and they're hugging us. I love you. And I'm like, oh, I love you too. So that was just very different, as well as the corporate staff. It was a lot of us that had went back the same time. But again, for us, it was a gift from God, because this was Greg and our 29th anniversary. And we would arrive in Bora Bora the night on our anniversary. So we're all around. They had sung happy birthday. Then they had sung happy anniversary in some type of language that I still don't know how to speak in. And then we hear one of the photographer guys say, hey, guys, we're in Bora Bora. And I look and I'm like, oh my God, like this is a dream come true, because I had been wanting to go to Bora Bora forever. Like I had been wanting to go to Bora Bora for so long. And just, I remember seeing pictures and seeing myself there. And you got to see it before you can see it. I need somebody to write that down. You got to see it before you can see. You really got to imagine and visualize. And God has given each and every one of us the ability to create. And so I saw myself there before there even happened, not knowing and realizing and understanding when we would win the trip, it would be during the same time of our anniversary. Like that wasn't planned. I couldn't plan that. For my tip tonight, I just got one. Do the work. No, I'm just kidding. I got some tips, y'all. But the leaders are saying, that's right, go to work, go to work, go to work, right? We are in network marketing. Staying in phase one is everything to your business. How do you get on a trip like this or any other trip? So how do you advance and rank and go up and get more income? Stay in phase one. Customers, continual customers on a consistent basis, and new brand partners. Speaking of brand, what I wanted to do is talk to you just a couple minutes about your brand story. As Dr. Crystal was sharing, as the other ladies were sharing, they all share a story, all right? And so you have to learn how to perfect your story. You got to learn how to perfect your story. I have earned multiple millions in this industry, not Partico yet. All right, we ain't there yet. Now, I ain't at $80,000 a week yet, like the #1 power ranker, right? Good gracious. But y'all know what? Her story, one of the things that she's done is found her niche. We found out that she market to nursing moms. That's a powerful niche, right? So what's your story? 1, be consistent with that story. 2, authenticity. Do not try to do it like anybody else. I know that you have heard this from your leaders. When you look up the word authenticity, it is real, bona fide, genified. That it means pure, right? So you're pure to who you are. Reality, it is real to you. Dependable, right? Dependability, all of that encompass your story. And so you need to shout it from the mountaintops every day or on a consistent basis who you are. And that is how you become attractive. That is how people say, I want what it is that she has. I want to get in her DM and find out more information about her. You have to make sure that as you are sharing your story, that you have like emotional appeal to it. Okay. So 1, consistency. 2, authenticity. 3, emotional appeal. Think about some emotional aspects of your story, some highs and some lows. Everything can't be a high, but everything sure enough cannot be a low. So you got to learn how to intertwine those things as you're connecting with people. And then number 4, you got to know who's your audience. We hear that all the time, but I think that even in 2024, we somehow feel that that is not relevant when it is relevant. That's how you get in it on these trips. Knowing who you are, being able to effectively share with the world and not apologize who God has created you to be. Your story, what is it? We want to know about it. And I want you to also be reminded that even if you think that other people, like I think about Kim, many of you all know her story she shared. I can listen to her story a million times. A lot of times we tend to think, oh, they heard it. I don't want to hear it again. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We want to hear it again and again and again and again. The money is in your story. So as you are being intentional about doing the work, every post, reel, on a consistent basis, shout it out from the mountaintop, your story. If you're not doing it on a daily basis, definitely do it on a consistent basis, bringing people into your world. And what is that? And if you do not know what your story is, then I need you, before you go to bed tonight, I know it's a little late on the Eastern Standard Time, on the Eastern Standard Time coast, on the East Coast, almost 10 o'clock, write down some aspects of you. My story from stay-at-home mom to the millionaire mom. When I was starting out in this industry, I started out with a baby on my lap. That baby is now in high school. She is 16 years old. Any other moms home that want to do a business? And I still to this day use the story. As you heard the other leaders share who they are, a little bit about the trip, some of the things that they really like, they talked about stories. Find your story, stick with your story, stay with your story. The money is in your story. And if you can do that on a very consistent basis, if not daily basis, right? We would like for you to do it daily, but on a consistent basis, I promise you, the organization will begin to build. The customers, they will come. The brand partners will come. But you have to be so good about who you are. And this is what I'll leave with, and I'm going to turn it back over to you. Be yourself, because everyone is taken. We want to see you on the next trip. God bless you all.
Oh my goodness, that was powerful. Ladies, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing me back to Tahiti, because that was amazing and I felt it tonight. And I do miss each and every one of you as well. And thank you for all of your tips. I took like a page and a half of notes, which is pretty phenomenal for such a short call. But thank you, ladies. Thank you for sharing. Thank you guys for tuning in with us on this Wednesday. And I hope you felt Tahiti. I hope you got some value, and I hope you're going to be there with us next year. So I love you guys. Have a beautiful evening, and we'll see you back next week. Love you, ladies. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, ladies.
Well done, girls. Thank you.
Love
you.
you.